Hello everyone, this is Nimish and today we are going to review the movie Mungaru Part 1, the big hit of the Kannada film industry which broke so many different records, and I finally got the version with subtitles so I could watch it right in time before the release of Mungaru 2. For those of you who have still not watched my teaser and trailer reactions to the new Mungaru, please do check it out on my channel. I have attached the links below. But now let's get into the review of part 1, the super successful Golden Star Ganesh movie. Let me begin with the acting. Golden Star Ganesh, I don't know what his full name is, but that's what he's called. He acted phenomenal. I loved his acting, and the most unique part about him is that he's different. Unlike Bollywood romantic stories, he's not someone brilliant looking, extremely handsome. He's not doing the typical things that anyone in a love story does, which is, being silly, being charming kind of a thing. He's just being himself, and that character is so differently written and so close to reality is actually what made me enjoy his character and his performance. The character is so well written that you relate to it instantly. For instance, whenever he gets into a thinking mode, he's about to fall into a thinking mode and get depressed, but then he's like, no, forget it. I don't want to think about it. I'm confused enough already. Okay, never mind. We'll see tomorrow. Okay, never mind. So he basically, whenever he's going into that mode, he's like, forget it, man. I don't want to think about it. Let's see what happens. And that kind of characterization is very real. It's very real to most guys that I know and most people that I know in real life. And the whole acting and performance by Ganesh is extremely realistic. There's nothing over the top. There's nothing unusual. And as I said, the best part about him is that he's so different. Like, he's unique. He looks pretty much normal. He acts like very naturally. And that's what's most important to make a love story effective. And that's probably the reason I hardly like any love stories in Bollywood, because they're so typical and over the top with an extremely charming guy, an extremely beautiful girl. Where is the reality and all that? So that's why I really liked his performance. The second most important character for me was Unalaq's character. Of course, he is a legend and I don't even need to judge his acting or anything like that. But what I'd like to say is that he played a very important supporting role. It wasn't just a supporting role. In fact, if you take that character out of the movie or make that character less effective in terms of acting, you'd notice that the movie would probably be a little flat. He brought a lot of interesting elements to the movie, and his character brought a lot of interesting elements, and his lively acting, full of life, energetic, military man, army man kind of acting, kept the movie alive whenever it tended to kind of get a little offbeat. But it was never offbeat. That is the whole point, because of his character, because of Ganesh's acting, because of the storyline, which was thoroughly entertaining. At no point in the movie did I feel this is outdated, this is boring, this is typical, this is repetitive. Nothing. It was so beautifully made, edited and directed that I loved and I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. The locations were beautiful. One of the things that I like to say is that the waterfall scene, which they took the first time the two of them go up, that was the first time I ever felt vertigo, that I've ever felt scared of heights or of waterfalls or anything like that, because of the crazy angles they've taken at that waterfall scene. They are standing and there's a top angle, that's fine. But then the camera goes upside down, it goes in all kinds of directions, and that was really, really different. And I've never seen such a camera work done before in terms of vertigo feeling or the terms of heights that have been captured in movies before. So I thoroughly enjoyed some of the camera work in some instances. There was a unique rabbit angle also to the movie, which was also pretty cool, and to me that rabbit symbolized the love, right? So when his love died, or when it was the end of his love story, the rabbit died too. So that was symbolic of what the rabbit was doing in the movie. Everyone else in the cast acted pretty well. Everyone did what they had to do, and no one was bad or no one kind of spoiled the movie in any way. So everyone else in the supporting cast, including Pooja Gandhi, was very good and apt as to what they were supposed to do. But of course, this movie, it belongs to Golden Star Ganesh and Unalaq, and no one can take it away from them. Songs have been sung by Sonu Nigam, Udit Narayan and many other great singers, and it's a huge hit. It's one of the biggest musical hit movies, so I don't even need to comment on the album, but the songs were good and I enjoyed them. And again, it didn't feel forced, except the first song where he's dancing in that red background. Except that song, everything else went with the flow and nothing felt forced or nothing felt that this song has to be put in because the movie needs songs. So that was good. I like movies where the songs come in a flow rather than forcing them in out of nowhere and spoiling the flow of the movie. So in this movie, what we come to know is that it's a sad ending, it's a tragic ending, and she gets married, which is reality, which is again something I appreciate because most of the real lives in the country is like that. Hardly 1 or 2% of the people can turn around a marriage and get someone that they like, or hardly they can even get someone that they like. So it's usually real, you know. So the girl gets married somewhere else, and that's the reality. And it's great that they actually kind of, you know, kept that. They didn't change that just for the sake of making people happy. And that's probably one of the reasons it became a huge success, because it's reality. Nothing about it is fake. This is a very common situation in India, and to capture that and show that, you know what, you're not going to get the girl every time, because that's the reality. That's the message that was also sent, and that's outstanding. I love reality movies. I love tragic endings, and I think that this movie made a lot of sense because of that ending. In case it turned around and it was a happy ending, it would have been another typical romantic movie where in the climax they run towards each other and all of that nonsense. But yeah, I'm very glad that it ended that way. So ending at that point, okay, he's not suicidal or anything. He's not like, I don't know, it's not the end of the world. He was sad. And now Mungaru Male Part 2 comes in, and from the promos, we see that there are 2 or 3 different girls, if I'm not mistaken, from the poster. Maybe I don't recognize them, but yeah, there are 2 or 3 different girls. There are different locations, the snow, the desert, and I think the same Kurg or Madikeri location again is there in the movie. His father, I think, because of the song My Daddy Is My Hero, his father, played by Ravichandran sir, is also there. And as per the latest curtain raiser which has released, it says that his perspective has changed about life, and he has changed, times have changed. But something happens, and I don't know what that something is. We'll have to check out, because he gets sad in the curtain raiser again. But I think that in terms of technicality, in terms of cinematography, camera work, budget, production value, songs, I think that Mungaru Male 2 is a bit more in time in terms of it's going along with the new generation, and it's made in that way. So many fans of Mungaru Male 1 will think, why are you commercializing it, or why are you making it this way, why are you making part 2 like this, and part 2 is nowhere compared to part 1, the music is nowhere compared to part 1. But that was 10 years ago, 2006. 10 years ago I was 14 years old, you know. It's a long time, and times have changed. Times have changed, and today they have to keep up with the changing times, which is why they made it in that sense. And I personally think that Mungaru Male 2, for an audience like me, let's say an international audience like me, will probably be more enjoyable because it's in tune with today's time, it's made for today's time, it's made for today's generation, and it's made in the way all other films, high budget films today are made. So I think that from the promos, they've done a fabulous job for a sequel. And although I already thought the promo was good without watching part 1, after watching part 1, I think the promos of part 2 are really good. So I suggest that all of you who probably are not happy with it, just reassess the situation a bit, because I think they've done a fabulous job on part 2 already before watching the movie. And I can't really say what the story is, but we'll have to wait and watch, because there are too many new angles, actors, actresses in part 2, and they've really not let out the story in any way, so we can't guess where the story is going. But it does seem like he's made a lot of money, and he's damn rich, and his father is very rich, and you know, I don't know what, he's traveling all around, maybe finding himself, or I don't know what happens, what the story is about, but we'll have to wait and watch. I hope you like this review of Mungaru Male Part 1. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, and keep watching.